So this idea, this topic of competitiveness and this distrust and really jealousy is kind of where a lot of that comes from, is jealousy that I want to talk about. And if you're feeling envy, if you have felt this, or like you see someone doing good and you're having a negative feeling towards them about it, there's something here for you to unpack. Or if you feel like you've done good at times and people didn't root for you, like they tried to tear you down, this is also going to be good for you, because you're going to have a better understanding of like kind of what's going on there and how that impacts and how that might have impacted you in ways that you don't quite realize. So with this competitiveness, this idea, now competition is interesting because so for me, I've been an athlete my whole life, right? Like until the last few years where I had like intense back pain that I recently got diagnosed and realized I found out I actually have a spinal condition. And that explains 4 years of back pain. And that was just like all up my spine that started going to like larger joints. So there were times when I was like where I was basically disabled. Sometimes when like I couldn't even really walk. But before that, I was an athlete my whole life. So like I understand competition, like competition. I understand healthy competition, pushing yourself. I understand like your team and their team. I understand even if it's one-on-one, like I'm a boxer. I was Chicago Golden Gloves champion years ago, not recently, but years ago. I would love to do it again actually. But like I understand competition and athleticism. And I'm not saying that competition isn't something that can be healthy. It can be, because those are avenues. Those are places where we have competition. But competition, I feel like even in athletics, there's an element of like, I'm really competing against myself. And like, yes, I'm competing against the other person, but I'm really competing to push myself to the next level. I'm competing to show up as my best self. If I'm going into a competition, if I'm going into a match, if I'm going into a fight, if I'm going into a game, and it feels like it's going to be a cakewalk, like what's in it for me? That's not pushing me forward. It's not doing anything. Okay, like I can beat that person or I could beat that team, and it's like, so, but that was easy, so it's really, even in that competition, it's about like really pushing yourself to be the next level that you can, right? And so in business, outside of athletics, so like business, entertainment, etc., other areas that I'm in, this whole idea of competition is totally different for me. Like, I'm a coach, okay? I work with Black creatives, and there are a lot of coaches out there. Most of them are working with white people and focus on white people and are white-centric because they're white coaches, and the coaching industry is like extremely whitewashed. That's why I work with Black people. But this idea of like competition just like doesn't even exist in my mind when it comes to the work that I do, because I'm me and there's nobody else who's me, and there's nobody else who does what I do the way that I do it. And I know that, like, and so this idea of like competition, there is no competition. I'm not going to be for everyone, and that's fine. And the people that I'm for, and the people like, someone can come to me and be like, she's great, but like, she's just not for me. And they have a different coach, and that's cool. Like you're finding something that works best for you. That doesn't have anything to do with me. Somebody else exceeding or excelling in coaching doesn't detract from me at all. And that's where we get kind of like mixed up with the competition, is like we see somebody else excelling or somebody else doing, somebody else like getting maybe like the benefits of excelling, whatever rewards. I don't really like that word, but I can't think of a better word right now. But like they're going and they're building and we see that. And then there's like this, well, look at that bitch, and who does she think she is? Why? Like where does that come from? That's the thing you have to ask yourself, is like, why would someone want to, especially like as Black people, why would we want to tear each other down when we start excelling?